Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be me sharing with you all of the products that are in my project graveyard. This video is both inspired by my project pan, the Graveyard Project Pan, which started again April 30th, and also Paula from A Beauty Guru made me do it. She's done this twice, where she pulled out all of the products that have been in projects before that she didn't meet her goal on and shared them in a video. And I thought that is a great idea, especially since I already have my list prepared for before the Graveyard Project Pan started. I went back through all of my project pan refreshes and finales and looked at all the products that are still sticking around in my collection that I didn't meet my goal on. Now there are more products in my collection that have been in project pans before, but if I did meet my goal within a project, such as hit pan on it, and it's still existing in my collection because it's not finished yet, I didn't share those in today's video because that would just make it way too long. I hope you enjoy the way that I am doing this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you do. I am about to show you all the products as a flat lay, like overhead. I'm going to break it down by project, starting with my Finish 18 in 2018 project pan with the products I didn't meet my goal on then. I would love for you guys to let me know what I should be rolling in next to any project, but specifically the Graveyard Project Pan. I love that project so much because it gives me a second or third or fourth chance at panning something and finally moving it out of my collection. And I would love to hear your feedback of what you think I'm either really close on or just like, Emily girl, that's really old. Finish it off. Let me know in the comments down below. I'm going to bring you over top of my products now and stop rambling. Okay, you guys, we're starting at the beginning of my panning journey, 18 in 2018. I have 5 products here that are still in my collection that I did not meet my goal on within that project. Wow, that is absolutely bananas. My goal in that project for the powder products were to hit pan on them. I have since hit pan on 2 of them, just not in that project. The first is the Body Shop Honey Bronzer. It has a pretty good pan on there now, but it is still in my collection after so many years. And the L'Oreal True Match Powder, this is currently in my Graveyard Project pan. I had hit pan on it, used it up to just the ring around the sides and repressed it, and now it's looking pretty thin in there. I really feel like I haven't used this Physicians Formula Beige Pearl Highlighter all that much since that project. It has been in another project since then, but there is no pan. It's very flat here in the center. I wonder if I can hit pan on this year. I don't know, that would be exciting. The Model Co. Peach Bellini Blush. I feel like this is infamous on my channel. I've tried to pan this so often. I've used it well over 100 times. And there is no pan. There is quite the dip happening on this side. Still looks pretty full on the other side. But I am so surprised that there's no pan on this blush. Soon. And lastly, the Rimmel Kate Moss lipstick in the shade 8 was in that project. Again, I've tried to pan this so many times since then, and there's still quite a lot of product in here. Oh boy. So these 5 products were in 18 in 2018. The one and only year I participated in Drop 10 Before Summer, which is a Fantastic Ladies collab. I have 2 products left in my collection from that project. Both of these products are in my current Graveyard Project pan, and they're both very close to being finished. That will be amazing. I did that project 2 or 3 years ago now, though. 2 years, right? Oh boy, I'm having a crisis. I feel like time goes by way too fast for me. I'm down to here on my Jergens tanner and down to here on my Bumble and Bumble surf spray. Both of these types of products are very hard for me to use up, but they're almost gone. Next up, in my Roulette Pan collab round 5, I have 3 products still in my collection. I could be missing some things. I tried to go back and watch some of my Project Pan videos, but I didn't watch all of them, so some of these are more of an estimate, I guess. I have Giorgio Armani C. This was for something sentimental. This is the perfume I wore on my wedding day. I really don't wear it that much, which is a shame. I bought this specifically for my special day, and I really haven't worn it much since. The Trestique Cream Blush in Bora Bora Coral is currently in my Partners in Cream project pan. And I guess this is a spoiler, getting very close to finishing it. I just have that much left. I'm hoping I can finish this month. That would be amazing. One whole blush finished. Wow. And again, the Body Shop Honey Bronzer was in that project to hit pan on. I didn't then. I hit it, after that, but again, it's still in my collection, and this is going to be a frequent flyer in this video. In my first round of the Graveyard Project pan, I really circled back around to my 18 and 2018 project, as that was my first project pan. It really wasn't successful for me. So the 3 products I have left in my collection that were in the very first round of the Graveyard Project pan are again these 3 products. Holy, there is a lot here. This is from my whole collection project pan in 2019. Again, that's the first round that I participated in that project pan created by Becky Loves Kanga. There were 2 products that I rolled out in my 6-month refresh. I did this project as a collaboration with Sarah. The first from my Crown Glam Metals palette, I was working on the shade Black Metal. My goal is to hit pan on it, and this is a terrible black shade. Not quite as bad as the Morphe and Kathleen Lights black shade that has completely dried out, but also pretty bad, so I rolled this one out. As well as a shade in my Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, because I knew I was nowhere near hitting pan. It was the shade Amaretto. And I really haven't used this palette much since rolling it out of that project, and I have rolled this into my project 100 uses to get more use out of it, but these were rolled out of my whole collection project pan in 2019. And then all of these products are still in my collection that I didn't meet my goal on in that project. The first is my Bodyography Heatherberry Lip Liner. I used this 100 times in that project, which is a lot. I was working on a shade in my Tarte Tartelette Toasted palette in that project. It was the shade Cozy. My goal was to hit pan on that. I was also working on an eyeshadow in my Blink Electric Eyes palette. It was this shade here. Again, my goal was to hit pan on it. There is quite a dip in this shade, but no pan. I was working on the 6th blush in my BH Cosmetics Nude Blush palette, which is almost neon. I feel like it never shows up on camera how truly bright it looks in person. No pan. I've never hit pan on a blush before. I couldn't get away from the Jergens Natural Glow. It got randomized into this project to finish. These lines here somewhere were in that project, probably these ones. I'm not sure. The blue highlight in my Naked Cosmetics highlight palette was rolled in, as well as the purple at one point. And so far this year in 2021, I worked on and met my goal on this Peachy Duochrome shade. This palette loves the whole collection Project Pan. I think my goal is to use it 15 times or something, and I didn't meet that goal within the project. In my e.l.f. bronzer palette, the fourth shade, this very red toned bronzer, was rolled in, and my goal is to hit pan on it. I only used it a handful of times. It was towards the end of the year. And lastly, in November, this coconut body butter was randomized into that project, and I don't think I've touched it since. That's really terrible. Pan those eyeshadows 2019. These were the palettes slash singles that were in that project at the end of the year that I hadn't hit pan on. The first is a Coastal Scents single. So sad that they shut down really suddenly. Like, they didn't even fulfill orders that were placed, which I find strange. All of these are Coastal Scents. These 6 are Ofra, and this is a Luxie shadow. But I was working on the shade Rich Walnut here, and as you can see, I did not hit pan in that shade. Nor did I hit pan in this ColourPop Super Shock shadow, which is very strange. This is Party of 5. I could probably circle back around and hit pan in this relatively easily now. I just really didn't use it all that much. Within that project, I only used this shadow 5 times, so of course I didn't hit pan on it. It's from Naked Cosmetics, the Urban Rustic Trio, and I was working on the green shade. Tarte Tartlet Toasted made another appearance in my project in 2019, and I was working on the shade Warmth in this project. And lastly, from my Violet Voss Essentials palette, I was working on the shade Cream, which is actually a shimmery champagne kind of shade, not a typical like matte cream shade, which you may think based on the name, or at least I did. So these 5 eyeshadows I did not hit pan on in Pan Those Eyeshadows 2019. I have only 2 products here for the Roulette Pan Collab round 6. My goal with the NYX Butter Gloss in Creme Brulee was loosely to finish it, though I knew that would never happen. I just wanted to reach for this as often as I could, and I feel like I did that. These glosses are deceivingly massive. And then I have the Balm Mary Luminizer. This is just a mini. My goal was to hit pan on this, and I didn't even come close. This is currently in my Shop My Stash, so I am using it a bit currently, and I really do love this highlight. I feel like it's a classic. Holy, there's a lot of stuff here again. This is for the whole collection Project Pan in 2020. So again, I had a 6-month refresh where I rolled out the ColourPop My Little Pony palette. I was working on the shade Bluebell, which looks like a nude kind of shade, but it actually has a very intense blue shift to it. I really love this palette and should pull it out again soon. I also rolled out the 9th shade in my NYX Ultimate Brights palette, which was this blue. It was just a lot to work on this. This palette is an attention hog. I also rolled out the KL polish in the shade Gumption, this very beautiful deep blue, just because I knew I could not finish it within the year. As well as the ColourPop Ultra Matte Lip in Times Square. This is not my favorite formula, but I really love the shade, which is why I keep it around. It is starting to look a little discolored, which is concerning. I might have to declutter this one soon, but those 4 products I rolled out of the whole collection project pan in 2020. And then by the end of the year, these were the products that I hadn't finished in time for December. The first is the ColourPop Crimp Gel Liner in the shade Mr. Bing. Oh my gosh, I came really close to finishing this product. It is broken into pieces because these liners always break. I am hopeful I could finish this sooner rather than later. I had a high usage goal on the Milani Baked Blush in Berry Amore that I hadn't reached by the end of the year, but this is a gorgeous blush for the fall. I wanted to finish my ABH Brow Wiz, and again, I didn't do that. There's a ton of product left in here. I wanted to use both of these lipsticks, I think like 25 or 30 times, and I didn't do that. I have the ColourPop Lippy Sticks in the shade Frida and the ColourPop Ultra Satin Lip in the shade Dreamy. Both of these were kind of peachy shades. They're very beautiful, but I didn't meet my goal. I had a goal to finish the Hikari eyeliner in the shade Raven. Didn't do that. The Milk Makeup Cannabis hydrating mask looks all jacked up now because Emma got a hold of it. It doesn't really roll up that well anymore. It's definitely starting to dry out. So again, I should use this up, but I didn't meet my goal in that project. I wanted to try and finish the Touch in Sol No Problem Prime Essence Primer. This is just a basic hydrating primer. I really enjoyed this, but came nowhere close to finishing it. And then right before the end of the year, I think in November, I rolled in the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer and only used it a handful of times. I really love this and I've worn it often so far this year, but I didn't meet my goal on it within that project. At the time I ended Mission 100% Cruelty-Free Project Pan, I do have these two products left. My goal was to hit pan on the NARS Laguna bronzer, which I believe I did do in that project, so I don't really remember why I put it in this pile, but here it is. It has pan on it. It's just a mini, so I should be able to finish it. And also, again, the Rimmel Kate Moss lipstick. Like I said, it's been in a lot of project pans, so why is there still so much left in here? Oh my gosh. Pan those eyeshadows 2020. These are the 5 eyeshadows I was working on at the end of the year, at the end of that project that I didn't hit pan on. First I have the Morphe Kathleen Lights palette. I was working on the 7th shade. The ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in the shade Crimper. Again, this is probably something I could easily circle back to and use. I rolled this in very late in the year. The BH Cosmetics Take Me Back to Brazil palette. I rolled in this shade here to hit pan on and wasn't successful. Earlier in the year, I rolled in this shade, and as you can see, I do have pan on that, but at the end of the year, I hadn't hit pan on that one. I forgot one. Within that project, I vetoed the red shade after working on it for months and months and making no progress and being uninspired by it, so that should be in this pile as well. For my Urban Decay Born to Run palette, I was working on the shade Guilt Trip. I used that shade so much. There's a huge dip, but no pan. And lastly, for my Pure Festival palette, I was working on the shade Good Vibes. Within my Graveyard Project pan last year for 2020, these are the products I was not successful with by the time the finale came around. You've seen this a lot. Still no pan in the blush. I wanted to finish the L'Oreal True Match powder. I actually repressed it after the finale of that project. I wanted to hit pan on Smoke and Whistles. I used this 15 times this year within my Partners in Cream project and still no pan. I wanted to hit pan in my Kevin Aquan sculpting powder, and I used it 40 times in that project with no pan. And I wanted to hit 1 or 2 pans in my ABH Modern Renaissance palette in that project, which I didn't, but earlier this year I actually did hit 2 pans in this palette, so I'm very happy about that. Oh boy, there's a lot here. This is from my 20 and 2020 project pan. I did really terrible within this project. I don't remember exactly how many I actually finished, but it wasn't a lot. As we know, 2020 sucked. So the Herbal Essences mousse just got rolled into my whole collection project pan this year, where I have to use it 10 times. I haven't touched the NYX Angel Veil primer since that project. It's still very full. The Maybelline Fit Me foundation, I am down to here. I rolled this into Partners in Cream. I hope to finish it this summer. That would be amazing. One more non-cruelty-free product out of here. The MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. I made really great progress on this last year and haven't used it yet this year. I'm focusing on a couple other concealers that got neglected and are pretty close to being finished, and then I'll circle back around to finish this. I wanted to hit pan on this Bare Minerals powder. It's now in the Panner's pan representing Laura Force. It looks so grubby and nasty. The dip in there is massive, but no pan yet. I wanted to finish my e.l.f. HD loose powder because this is actually 2 powders mixed together, and it would be great to lower my inventory numbers. There really isn't that much left in there. Again, if I wasn't working on so many powders, I would circle back to this one. The Maybelline Apricot Gloss is definitely on the chopping block to be decluttered. These are hella old and I don't even like them that much, but I have a problem with decluttering because I'm weird. So I didn't finish it in my 20 and 20 project pan, which is why it's in this video. I did not hit pan on my Revlon Oh Baby Pink blush. This is my last non-cruelty-free blush in my whole collection. I used it a ton last year. It's very beautiful. I have a teeny dip happening, but I didn't hit pan. This, I was really disappointed in myself. The Tarte Park Avenue Princess Bronzer Mini, I wanted to hit pan on, and I didn't. Wow. You know, I still don't have pan on this Becca blush. Again, it's been, Becca highlighter and Champagne Pop. It's been in so many projects, and I'm currently working on it in the Graveyard project pan. Oh, I forgot one. I also did not finish the Becca liquid highlighter in the shade Opal. I didn't even make that much progress on it, which was surprising for how often I used it, or maybe it just sticks to the sides a lot. Again, this is just teeny. I should be able to use it up to lower my numbers at some point, but here we are. The ColourPop Lippy Sticks in the shade Lumiere, I did not finish. I really didn't use it that much for someone who was trying to finish it. Also, if you take your time and go watch finales and you're seeing products missing here, just know, well, there's a couple potential possibilities. I either messed up and forgot something, forgive me. I have since finished it since the finale of that project, which it will be in either an upcoming empties or recent empties, or it's been decluttered, and I will have a declutter video at some point. I wanted to hit pan on this Body Shop single shadow. I'm losing my voice. I did create a dip, and I wanted to pan in at least 2 shades in my Walking on Eggshells trio. This is Ancient, and I really didn't make very good progress on this one. Oh my gosh, we made it to the end. I'm so out of breath. For the Roulette Pan Collab Round 8, these are the products that I have left. It was very lip product heavy, which was my bad. My goal was to finish these, use this one about 10 times, I believe, which I didn't do. It's a very deep shade, and I'm surprised I wasn't able to finish the First Aid Beauty Coconut Skin Smoothie Priming Moisturizer. And lastly, the ColourPop No Filter Foundation. I didn't make a line at the finale, but I do feel like I made really good progress on this foundation over the course of those 4 months. Holy, that was a ton of products. I have such a mess to clean up around the edges of where you can see. Oh gosh, I wish I would have counted how many products are in my project graveyard. That would be interesting to know, but I forgot to do that. Be sure to let me know what products you would like to see me roll in to any project, but specifically my graveyard project pan. I did just film the update for that. There will be another update on August 31st, and I would love to roll in some of the products I talked about in today's video into that project. So that was everything, you guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you think of the format. Which products should I be panning next? If you did enjoy today's video and would like to see it maybe once a year or every 6 months, then definitely let me know and give this video a thumbs up. I will see you in my next one. Bye!